And now, Dr. Carolyne Fuqua lays down the law.
Mentalism simply says that everything is mind. Everything is mind. What does it say? All is mind. The universe is mental. Here's the good news about it. Good news and bad news is everything that you think manifests. Now, can you see how that's good news and bad news? Yes. Most people want to think about the good news of it, but you don't think everything is manifesting. Everything is manifesting. So you think, oh, I'm really manifesting. I got my rent. Yeah, I was really manifesting when I didn't get my rent.
That's right.
You see that?
Yes.
The law, everything is mental, and whatever I think is what I'm going to end up with at the end of the day. So really, it's time for me to master that notion so that I can master my thoughts. It's not behavioral. It's not behavior modification where, I cancel. It's not cancel. It's too late. You have just exposed yourself. This is what you think. This is how you think. I want you to understand that we live in an abundant universe where there is more of everything than you can count. More grains of sand on the beach. More blades of grass on your lawns. More leaves on the trees. That's God. God deals in abundance. And what God gave us an abundance of is the will to think with God so that we can actually be a stream of that abundance that's ever flowing. If you think negatively, guess what? Because of the nature of God, it becomes abundant. You understand that? The negativity then becomes abundant, and you end up now in a sea with many drops of water, each and every one of them negative. You understand what I just said? So it's not like, well, nobody knows what I'm thinking. Nobody needs to know what you're thinking. You know what you're thinking, and you're wallowing in a bed of it. Now, you can't think that there's not enough money. Listen to this. There's not enough money. For whom? You understand? Is that a true statement for a J. Paul Getty, a Steve Jobs? He's dead. Bill Gates. Most of it. Well, you understand. There's not enough money for me. Now, is that true? Is there not enough money for me, or is there not enough consciousness for me to realize that I can access the abundance that actually is? Do you understand the difference? Yes. All right. You're speaking now. When you say you don't have enough or there's not enough, you're speaking based on a past experience, based on something that has been passed down to you, not something that's true. There is an abundance. There's an abundance of everything. And the minute you say there's not, there becomes an abundance of there's not. Do you understand that you're trapped by your own thinking because all is mind, and you are trapped inside of a crucible of your own thinking? It doesn't have to be that way, because as the image and likeness of God that you actually are, you were created out of the same stuff. You are a manifestation in form of the same unlimited, omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent power that is generating everything. You are a stream of that, a download of that. And so now, because you're a download of the power of that thinking, you can use that thinking to build yourself or destroy yourself. You must learn how to use your thoughts. And you must understand that your thoughts are manifesting and creating constantly. And all this small talk, I don't have enough. That's not true. You have enough consciousness to generate, activate the quantum field, and drop down anything and everything. But you don't have enough knowledge or awareness of that. That's why you have to learn the game. You have to learn that nothing is so until you say it is, and whatever you say it is what it must be. Did you just understand what I said? Nothing is anything until you, image and likeness of God, say it is. And whatever you say it is what it becomes. Not because it has to be, but because you have the power to make it be. Did you understand that?
Yes. Yes.
Well, then say something.
Yes.
Make some noise up in here. Let's move on. Next principle. Don't you love it? Correspondence. this. This simply says, and we don't have to spend a lot of time on it. It says everything that's above is reflected or manifested below. That's a simple one. If there's omniscience and omnipresence and omnipotence above, that same thing is below. If there is the power to think a universe into creation, there is a power within you to manifest or create your own universe. And it may be small, it may not be the same quantity, but believe me when I tell you it is the same quality. Because as the image and likeness of God, you're doing in your little universe called your life exactly what the great thinker is doing in its huge universe. Do you understand that each of you are a cell or a drop in that big ocean and have the same principles and the same power and the same ability if you will use it correctly? You have an obligation, as a matter of fact, to learn to use it correctly so that you can start glorifying, which was the idea in the first place, that God would be in form in the glory that is everything else in form. Trees and flowers and birds and fish and everything else that we go to Kenya. And didn't he say, you saw yesterday we were in Kenya? You should have seen all 150 of them oohing and ahhing over every single animal. Ask them then when they oohed and awed over themselves and each other. Well, it has to happen. You have to realize that everything that you behold is God. Not a giraffe and a lion or a tiger, but everything you behold is God. Everything you look around at each other, every single thing, you're going to have to start knowing when you look in the mirror, there's nothing there but God. When you look at each other, there is nothing there but God. You are going to have to understand, you're going to have to understand that it is imperative that you be and see only God. Only God. The law of correspondence says that everything is God. La ilaha illallah. That didn't mean there is only one God. That meant everything is God. Yes. You got There is nothing but God.
Yeah. Got it.
What's the next one? Consequences.
Oh. Don't say nothing about that.
Huh?
Yeah.
Consequences. That simply says, okay, I'm going to start off with what the Bible said. The Bible said, be smart. Do unto others only that you would have others do unto you. You thought that was just a nice, polite teaching? That is mandatory. Based on the law of consequences, every single thing that goes from you is coming back to you. Is it wise or not to put out only what you want back? Wise or not?
Why?
Creation begins in your heart. For you, creation begins in your heart. For me, creation begins in my heart. So it is mandatory that when it leaves my heart, it cannot be nasty, poisonous, venomous, judgmental, crazy, and irresponsible, and unaccountable. Right? Right. When it leaves my heart, it has to be sweet, it has to be pure. I have to realize that the giver and the receiver are the same thing, and that as it goes out, it multiplies, it's going to return to me. So now I'm asking you to learn this law. To learn the law of consequences. Every cause has an equal and opposite effect. Equal in intensity and opposite in direction. Every single thing that goes around comes around. Everything that goes around comes around. Now, you know you have said that a million times, but I can tell by what you send out that you are not clear that that's coming back. That's coming back. Every cause has its effect, every effect has its cause, everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. Everything goes around, comes around. Moving on. Vibration. Oh, I love vibration. Vibration rests. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. Spirit vibrates very rapidly, and the gross.
G-R-O-S.
And the gross. Wait, I don't understand that. Spirit vibrates. Oh, and the gross very slowly. Okay, you understand that. Spirit, being ethereal, vibrates very rapidly. Gross, being material, vibrates very slowly. Here's the deal. You go, you get sick, you run to the hospital, you run to the medicine cabinet. You have no business being sick. God is not sick. Do you understand that? That's the first thing you have to understand. It doesn't make sense for you to be sick unless you're separate from God. God is not sick. If you are just a download, and believe me, ladies and gentlemen, you are just downloaded energy. You are just pure downloaded light from the mind of God into manifested form. That's all you are. Now, you can think you're something else, and because of the nature of your divinity, you can make yourself be something else. Like sick, like broke, like lonely and scared and crazy. You can make yourself be that. That will never be true. That will always be an illusion, because you will remain in the mind of God exactly as God is thinking. You cannot change what the great thinker is thinking. Huh? So you then are my image and likeness over here. Whole, perfect, and complete. Abundant, well, beautiful, loving, and loved. That's over here in my thinking. That's how I'm holding you, because I'm the creator. Now you're over here because you didn't get good grades, didn't clean up your room, didn't take out your trash, didn't eat your spinach. You're over here thinking you're bad, you're wrong, you're crazy, you're lazy, you're stupid, you're the whole bunch of stuff that has nothing to do with the truth. And over here, God is holding you as itself whole, perfect, and complete. But your experience is broken. So you then go and ask somebody else to fix it. Doctors and medicine and name some other ways you go to have somebody else fix it. Relationships, psychiatrists, all of these ways. You're dealing with your perceived brokenness as though it's the truth, and then you want somebody else to fix it. Fix what? All you would ever have to fix is who you say you are. All you ever have to fix is who you say you are. The minute you say, I am the image and likeness of God, and not just with your lips, but with your heart, with your mind, with your soul, I am the image and likeness of God, and therefore whole, perfect, and complete at all times. That's all you need to do. What did I just ask you to do? I asked you to change your vibration. I asked you to change your vibration from gross to spirit. And because that's all you are. I don't care how many times you take a body and become obvious to the rest of your brothers and sisters. You are simply still spirit inhabiting a body, a spacesuit, if you will, that makes it possible for you to stand in gravity on this earth plane. You will never be that. You will always be an idea in the mind of God, manifested. So now you... Now here's the news. Here's the news. High vibration, spirit. Everything, heaven, kingdom. Low vibration, nothing. Bad, earth, no. Hell. Okay? Nothing, hell, earth plane. Here, this side, you're all that stuff on the low vibration. Here on this side, you're all this stuff on the high vibration. All you have to do, you don't have to go to the doctor, get anything cut out, anything injected. All you have to do is change your vibration. Over here, as in the vibration of spirit, it is impossible. You know, this is something that Pablo and I used to talk about. According to science, not according to metaphysics or any woo-woo anything. According to science, if you vibrate above the 50-yard line, here's the 50-yard line. If you vibrate above the 50-yard line, you are moving too fast to become sick. And if you're vibrating below the 50-yard line, you're vibrating too slow to stay well. So what am I telling you? Your vibration is up to you. Your vibration is up to you. It's up to you, unfortunately. See, who you are is not up to you. But who you say you are is. And when you say you're not, you're not. And when you say I am, you am.
Come on
It's
now.
up to you. Manage your vibration. Manage your vibration. Manage your vibration. Next. Is this cool?
Yeah.
Is this cool? Polarity. What does it say? Read it.
Everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites.
And you all know, a pole, let's just use your broomstick. That's a pole, right? And each pole, because you have to be dual in order to be physical. You have to have a dual nature. You have to have both the spirit and the body in order to be in form. You have to know that dualism is a must. What we're being asked to do is be in the world of dualism, with a mind stayed on oneness. Right? So here we are, here's our pole. Let's see, let's use this line this time. This line. That's our pole. Here is the low vibrating end. See, these are all tied up together of the pole. Here is the high vibrating end. You see, it's the same as the last one. Huh? Vibration depends on where you're standing on the pole. Here on this end of the pole, there's a whole lot of everything. A whole lot of everything. So, the masters used to say, if you want something, seek thee first the kingdom. All right, the kingdom is the good side. This is the side where all the goodies are. This side, of course, is what they call hell because of its emptiness. It is empty. There is nothing here. There's nothing here. No cheese down that tube. If you want abundance, go where abundance is. Stop standing here, cursing the darkness. Move hence. Go to the light. Because here's where it is. You can't stand here without being blessed. You can't stand here without being loved, without being downpoured with abundance. You cannot. It's impossible. It's against the law. And you're being asked to be loving. All right? Manage that simply. Manage your vibration. Manage the polarity simply by choosing where you, all right? And then, again, most of you know this, but I like to liken this as a hallway with that room filled with light, with this room filled with darkness. Now, the thing about it is, when you walk to the end that's filled with darkness, dark things happen. Huh? Well, what you want to do is you want to stand in the dark end and lock your doors, get your guns, you know, put your seatbelt, do all these kind of things that'll protect you. But they can't protect you in the dark. You think that you're safe, you can stay in the dark if you do all these things. If you get your medicine, if you lock your doors, if you get your guns, but you can't. The only way you can truly protect yourself is be where that can't be. Can you see that?
Yes.
The only way that you can truly protect yourself is be where that can't
It's
be.
not.
Because polarities cannot occupy the same space. Right. You stand in the light, you don't have to worry about what happens in the dark.
Come on now.
You don't have to talk about what the devil does. You know, all the devil does, and all the devil does. How do you know? How do you know what the devil is doing unless you're standing down there with the devil? If you're standing in a room where there's only love and only light and only God, how do you know what he's doing? That's why Jesus fought in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights and finally got tired and said, you know what?
Forget you.
Get thee behind me. But did he expect the devil to jump back, or did he expect himself to move? Come on. To where the light is. All right. That's your responsibility. Stop complaining. Come on. Stop commiserating. Do what's lawful. Learn the game. Learn how to really be happy. Learn how to really be prosperous. Learn how to really be safe. Learn how to really be well. Be safe, be prosperous, be loved by standing where that stuff is. And that's the law of polarity.
Come on now.
Rhythm. What do they say about rhythm? Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall in pendulum swing, manifest in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. Now, what I want to tell you about that is that a master understands rhythm and form. A master understands rhythm and form. There are people who really only like it when the sun shines. That doesn't make sense. They only like it when things are, what? Ebbing. No,
Flowing.
They don't want things to ebb. But in order for things to flow, they have to ebb. In order for there to be daytime, there has to be nighttime. In order for there to be flowers, there's going to have to be rain. And a master understands that. In form, rhythm is mandatory. What you want to do is stand above it and let it do its thing under you. You don't want to be sad when it's dark and happy when it's light. You want to stand in the light and let it be dark and let it be light and let it be dark and let it be light and let it be full and let it be empty, because that's nature. It's going to go out and it's going to go in. It's going to ebb and flow. What you want to do is understand that, appreciate that, and give thanks for it. Do not commiserate with each other. Do not complain and do not judge when things are empty, because in order to be in form, you're going to have to understand that there must be the rhythm, that the day has to follow night, and stop being mad when you're women, because you're going to be men next time. That's the law of rhythm. To the degree that you're a female, you're going to be a male. And be happy about that. And stop. How do you get to be a male? Why do you get to have all the fun? Why do you get to have a wee-wee? Because that's the way it works. I catch, I throw. I catch, I throw. Be happy about it. Understand this is the way it works. Stand on top of it and appreciate it and give thanks for the law of rhythm. Gender, same thing. Gender, same thing. Masculine, in order to be manifest, you must have gender. Masculine and feminine. In all things, there must be gender. Gender's in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. Identification, do not identify yourself as either one. Only God. This is very important. Gender, one of our biggest problems as humans is relationship between the masculine and the feminine, between men and women. But when you understand that you're God choosing, instead of being trapped in an identification and trapped in a role, you're actually choosing the role. So this time, it is my pleasure to receive. That's the feminine. In this incarnation, it is my pleasure to give. That's the masculine. But I have to understand it, I have to appreciate it, I have to realize that in order for us to have life, electricity, trees, fruit, anything, in order to have anything, we must have gender. We must have that that's holding it and that's filling it. We must have that. We must learn to appreciate it, give thanks for it, and enjoy it. And remember, being a man or woman is not a sentence. It is an opportunity to give as the divine.
Yes. Yes.
The master player polarizes himself at the point at which he desires to rest. Okay. The master, remember, this was my choice. No, this was a possible choice, but this was my choice. The master player polarizes himself at the point at which he desires to rest and then neutralizes the rhythmic swing of the pendulum, which would tend to carry him to the other pole if he were not wide awake and on top of it. All individuals who have attained any degree of self-mastery do this to a certain degree, more or less unconsciously. But the master does it consciously.
Come on now.
Only and by the use of his will, and attains a degree of poise and mental firmness, almost impossible of belief on the part of the masses who are swung backward and forward like pendulums. Deep?
Yeah.
Now you have a choice to make. You have a choice to make. You are going to get dragged through this game, kicking, screaming, crying, complaining, and judging. Or you're going to sing through this bad boy.
Come on now.
You are going to dance through this bad boy. You are going to love this game as much as I do. And love this game I do because I know how to play and I know how to win.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I love you.